What's up guys, my name is Alois, and in this guide I will show you how a pro player plays the Sejuani matchup. I'll cover everything I'm thinking about during my laning phase, such as wave states, jungle interaction and item purchases. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing and leaving a like, and comment down below what matchup you would like to see next. Alright, let's dive into it. So, for the Sejuani matchup, right, it's a tank champion, a neutralizing champion, right, and generally her kit is pretty good against ours. She's playing Teleport plus Ignite, which is a very common setup on Sejuani, because they're a bit more kill pressure, and that's all good, right? Now, with that setup in mind, she does not have Flash. Another thing that's very important to know about Sejuani is that her Q cooldown is actually a flat 18 seconds cooldown, and she does not get another level in this ability up until level 8. So, from level 1 to level 8, her Q is going to be on an 80-second cooldown whenever she uses it. With that in mind, I want to try and play as aggressive as I can in the early game, because this is also where the Sejuani is still relatively weak. She cannot contest you that much. Look for equal health trades, try to see if we can bait out her Q, and whenever she's used her Q, right, she doesn't really have anything to look for trades, and that's where we look to play extremely aggressive. So, let's look into the SWOT. We have Sejuani Wukong, very strong 2v2, Riven, Nilly, also very strong 2v2, but if they're level 6, we never lose, right? Or we never win, rather. They're both 6, so as you guys know, I'm always going to try and look for a late ward. I spot the Sejuani here, that's okay though. I push her away, and we get a ward. Very nice. So, the means come. We see Sejuani starting a lane, no Wukong, so Wukong is going to be pathing from bot to top, and Nilly is going to be pathing from bot to top as well, meaning that there is very big chance that on the first 4 waves on top lane, we're going to be ending up in in some brawl, right? There's going to be jungle interaction for sure. So some ideas I have against that is to be looking to do like a second wave crash, making the wave bounce back into me so that I'm in a position where I'm not gankable, but the Sejuani would be gankable. And alternatively, I can look to do like a third wave crash to see if I can time my wave in order to have priority for the scuttle, right? So let's see how we approach this, this lane. As I said, I want to try and play as aggressive as I can in the early game. Sejuani will, every Sejuani I see opens up with Q. So let's see what they do here. I'm going to try and get the prio. Okay, I get her passive out, right? Whenever you damage her, passive starts going out. So that's always very nice. She drops resistances. So she's used her Q right here. Perfect. Okay, I know that now. Get one auto attack trait in. That's very good, right? So like I said, it's on an 80-second cooldown. So my Q is coming back up now. I took a pretty bad trade here, right? Doesn't matter. I get the priority. And now because I've had the priority, right now, you see, I get like dead time. I call it dead time because I don't need to look for any last hits right now, whereas the Sejuani wants this last hit, right? And that is also what the priority gives you. So right now, I don't have to do anything. She walks up for the last hit. She still has no Q, even though she has bone plating. Perfect. We get an equal health trade, right? This is what I call an equal health trade. Maybe it's a bit more beneficial for her, right? If you look at the health bars, but this is where the setup comes into play because I have 3 potions and she only has 1. So this is a perfect example of how I like to play in the early game against these champions. It's not very, only against tanks. I like to do this in general because now it's also very good for me. I have 3 potions, she has 1. I'm probably going to get my level 2 first. I just have priority over the lane and this is how I like to play. So this is perfect. So now, I need to try and keep the priority, right? So I'm going to push the wave. She's looking to do it as well. So right now she needs 1 melee main to get level 2. I need either this caster or a melee or just 1 melee as well, and I get my level 2 as well. So that's what we're going to both and try to look to play for. So I use my Q to try and contest it first. Okay. So I try and use my third Q onto her, get her passive out. I sadly do not. I skill my E. Bit too late. She Qs forward and uses her W. Okay. But at least her Q is on cooldown again, her passive of cooldown, and she has no bone plating, right? So my Q is about to come back up because I used it on the wave earlier. She walks up for her last hit, and she is just dead. And that's, right? What she actually has to do here is just stand all the way back to her turret and give me all the free space here that I want. Because her Q is off cooldown, right? And she has no flash. Now she walks up, no Q. Use the champion. There we go, free kill. So, now we spot the Wukong on the blue buff. My Nilly is coming to top side as well. I guess I have 2 options here. I either hit the minions 0 times here and recall, which is what I should have done in hindsight. Now I make the mistake to last hit this, and I lasted 1 before as well. So now it's actually slow pushing towards the Sejuani, right? If I were to recall here, I would lose so much, but at least I wouldn't die to the Wukong Sejuani, which would be good. So I look for recall instead. I get cancelled once. She TP's back because, she's having the TP, right? And then she actually cancels me. And so this is well played by her. Nilly goes mid. So now I'm in a tricky scenario, right? Because the wave is pushing towards the Sejuani, so I cannot base, because if I were to base right now, I would lose all this, plus the whole next wave, which is actually more than the kill that I got, right? So I need to stay, but my Nilly is mid, and this Wukong is for sure eyeing top. So yeah, this is a very tricky scenario. So I'm just gonna try and yeah, play a bit more towards my limits. I'm pinging my jungler, like I need your assistant, but she's very low HP as well, she probably can't come here. So here, I'm just trying to play as like, yeah, safe with my abilities as I can, and my positioning as well. Okay. Yeah, still ping my jungler. Okay, she looks to Q in, so instantly I'm pathing back, right? I'm thinking he's probably here. So I'm just trying to try extending speed range, and right now I need to get this wave in before this wave comes, right? So that I can actually get a recall. That's what I'm trying to do here. Here, I'm just like, all right, you know what? I'm just gonna flip it, get it in. Wukong shows up as he should, right? This is good. But I would say that this is like one of those good deaths, you know, in things. Because right now, Sejuani could opt to like freeze the wave here and recall. It would be, I think, her best decision. Because she cannot continue laning with just this these stats, right? With only one potion and a biscuit. So she has to find a recall timer for herself here as well. She pushes it out, which I think is a mistake. And because of that, my recall timer is very small. I can instantly run back to the lane. Now, let's talk about the purchase as well. 900 gold. 3 options here. You could go for Call Fields Refillable, you could go for Pickaxe and some potions, or you go for the purchase, which I like the most, and that is this one. And it's just because it allows you to be a bit stronger in the early laning phase. So that's why I like this, right? The health is very good. And then it's a lot of damage and some potions as well, which is also, in a sense, extra health, right? So we run back. I say as well, at that point, it's better to die for me. And then my jungler wants to FF. Yeah, that's a normal jungle main. Okay, so as you see, I only lost 1 minion, right? Mute that guy. Perfect. So now, what's going to happen, right? This wave position is going to slow push to the Sejuani automatically. Why? Because this wave is closer to my side of the lane. That's the main reason, right? Because this wave right here is going to join up with my minion wave much faster than enemy minion wave that's on the same position is going to join up with his minion wave. That is just because the wave is closer towards my side of the lane. So it's automatically slow pushing to the Sejuani here. So what I'm just going to try and do is get every last hit that I can, last hit at the latest time possible to make sure that the Sejuani loses maximum. So she already lost 2 melee minions, cannons are focusing each other, and I think she actually, yeah, she ends up missing the cannon as well. Biggest dopamine you can get as a top laner. Very nice here. So it's slow pushing to the Sejuani. Now let's ignore the Sejuani for a second, right? Where are my eyes located right now to see if I can push this wave or I have to look for another one, right? I'm always going to be checking here, because here is where I can calculate where enemy minion wave is going to be next as well, so that I can like time on what wave I want to crash and get a free recall. Right now, if I were to hard push this, it would be kind of tricky, right? Because sure, I can try and hard push this, but Sejuani could hold it and freeze it for this next minion wave, which is going to be ending up right here if I hard push it, right? So what I were to do instead here is keep slow pushing and then time my crash with this wave. So I want to be able to farm this wave in a relatively decent position here as well, and then just crashing it all together. So that's what's going through my mind here. Sejuani uses her W, so now I'm going to be looking for a trade. I also, as you see, I dash through the minion wave to not AoE the wave, so it's like slow pushing towards the Sejuani. I get her bone plating, but I miss the rest, and she Qs in. Again, she Qs in. Very big mistake. So I Q forward. That's not a big mistake for her, right? But yeah, she extends the trade, so now she's used her Q, her W, and her E. Useless champion now. My potion is running, I walk forward, my cooldowns are about to come back up, I still kept my Conquer stacks up in the meantime as well, and she is actually just dead. Now, this was a very close kill, because as you can see right here, her HP is 103, and I dealt 107 damage. Kind of flippy, but I felt confident here, and I get the kill right, and now, yeah, this lane is very tricky for the Sejuani to play. Not much she can do, because this wave is also going to be bouncing back into me. My Ignite is about to come back up, I have ult, right? I'm just very, very strong in this laning phase now, so we can play it a little bit longer. So what would my goal be in this lane position right now, right? Also, I got a pickaxe, because that's by far the best purchase I can do there. Never opt for, if you have like 900 gold or 800 gold reset with double longswords, 900 gold, it's the best to always go pickaxe. Don't go for like Call Fields plus a Ruby Crystal, it's not that good. Pickaxe is always the best. So, as I said, this wave is pushing towards me now, and my goal would be to try and keep the wave pushing towards me, right? So that she can never get a free roam or get a free like recall timer again. But in the meantime, also try and thin it out so that I can keep it that way, right? And look for small trades so we can maybe get a free kill, something like that. Now, most important thing is to try and avoid AoEing the wave, because if you do that, the wave is going to be pushing back into her. So, as you see here as well, I'm going to be trying to use my cooldowns around the minion wave, right? So I'm trading here instead of in the minion wave, and now I don't AoE the entire wave. Back off here. Trying to see if she would use her Q. She learned from her past mistakes, she's not doing it again. So yeah, I was looking for an Alo window, but if she keeps her Q up, she's actually quite safe. So now we keep the wave on our side. She never really Qs in. I look for some Tracer, she used it here, but now she's not really going to be walking up again. She's 6 as well. I don't know where the Wukong is, and they got notified that we just took the dragon, so yeah, not much I can do here. So I push it out, and now I'm looking to go for a reset. So here I guess I could be ganked, but the Sejuani is giving me space. She's pathing backwards as well, which is like giving me a sense of security that I can push this, so I go for it. QQ the backline with the W, push out the wave the fastest, and we get a free recall. So same thing is going to happen. It's pushing back into me, so I'm going to try and freeze it here, trying to, you know, get her a bit softer in the lane. Okay, she gets a trade in, she recalls TP's back. Nearly takes the Herald, and the wave is still like frozen at my side. I end up canceling her Q here with my third Q, which is also a trick you can do. And then Lily comes, swoop of the kill, and here honestly the lane phase is pretty much over, right? Because I'm going to pushing this all in. I'm getting 2 extra plates, as you can see right here. I'm 78 CS to 42 CS. I'm about to get my Gore Drinker, so yeah, here the game is just completely over on top side, right? So I hope to have shown you some new ways to like deal with these annoying tag matchups, show you how actually weak they can be in the early game, and how aggressive you are allowed to play. And I hope this, yeah, learned you or taught you some new things that you can look to do in your own games. So that's all from me. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and peace.